So today we start reading the letter to the Colossians. The Colossians lived in this place called Colossae, and that was a place that Paul hadn't started a church, but a friend of his, who he references here, Epaphras, had been to visit, and he'd led a whole load of people to Jesus, and then he'd reported back to Paul what had happened. So from that place, Paul is writing. He's probably in prison in Rome, which was towards the end of his life when he's writing this letter. So that would have been maybe around 60 AD. And there's loads of stuff we're going to see in this letter that I think is just incredibly exciting. But the thing that I want to draw on today is the description of Jesus that Paul gives is just amazing. Like, he starts off and, he says, we thank God for you and we pray for you and we pray that you have knowledge of his will and, all these interesting things. You think, wow, Paul would pray that they would have knowledge of his will. When was the last time I prayed that? I'm not sure. But then he gets to this powerful description of Christ that just like punches you right in the guts. And for us, one of the things that we can usually do, this is how I do things anyway, too often, is we get very introspective and we spend loads of time examining ourselves, examining our motives, examining what's going on in my heart here. Am I doing this for Jesus? Am I doing this for me? Is this right? Is this pure? And we can spend loads of time sort of self-analyzing about how we're doing as followers of Jesus. And actually, the most powerful thing we can ever do is simply look to Jesus himself. Rather than spending, it's good to reflect, it's really important to do that, but to do it in the light of Jesus and what he brings out and what he shows in us is the most helpful way to go about it. So here, Paul just turns to this incredible image of Christ, and there's a couple of bits. He's the image of the invisible God. So what that is there's a God. We all know there's a God. He's invisible, so I can't see him and you can't see him. But then he makes himself visible in the person, the flesh and the blood and the bones of the body of Jesus. He is God made visible. So when you look at Jesus, you are looking at God himself, the invisible God. He's the firstborn over all creation. And what that means is he's before all of creation. So everything is made through Jesus. So just as the the opening chapter of John says, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and he was with God in the beginning, all things were made through him. That's an echo of Genesis. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. And it's saying that everything from the opening line of the Bible, Genesis onwards, is all a result of Jesus and Jesus's actions and Jesus's will. It's all come through him. And this is the guy that we chat to when we walk down the street, Jesus. This is the guy that we sing the songs about how he loves us. This is the guy who died on a cross for us. This same man who walked around 2,000 years ago is the one through whom all of creation was made. If that doesn't blow your mind, I don't know what will. There's more stuff in there. We're running out of time. All I'd say is just meditate on this incredible description of Jesus. Rather than examine ourselves today, let's just spend some time looking at him.